Hello, hello, we're back. I am trying to test something out, but also I get to show you guys something really exciting today. We're gonna wait till ads are over until everyone has a chance to join in before I get chatting about it, as I'm trying to figure out if I can listen to my normal music. Because I'll be honest, look, I like the Spirit City lo-fi music. It's nice and all, but like, I do better when I get to listen to music that actually like hypes me up and gives me energy. And this music makes me want to fall asleep. My main issue is just hoping that I can drown it out with the music I like listening to, and I'll just be fine. It might drive me insane, though. Hi, Fancy! Hi, Meeples! Welcome in! So maybe if I just, like, tune it out, I'll be fine. If I sound like I'm freaking the fuck out, it's because I'm listening to 2 music tracks at once, and it's driving me crazy. This might be a horrible idea. Oh no, I can't hear the alert. Well, I turned down the 1-bit alert, so maybe that's why. But hi, thank you for the bit. Hello, everybody. Hi, Comet. Welcome in. I'm gonna lose my fucking marbles. Yeah, I'm playing 2 music tracks, so, like, if I lose my mind, that's why, and I'll just stop it. Okay, so maybe this is loud enough for you guys to be able to hear it and it not bother you too much. But it's quiet enough that I can't hear it over my music. We're gonna try this. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna be bummed, but like, who cares? I just want to be able to listen to music I actually like during streams, instead of just having to deal with their, like, homework radio music. Like, it's cute music. I don't hate it. But, like, something about no music during a stream sounds awful to me. So we're gonna see if this works. Right now, I can't really hear the other music. And I am certainly fine with that. No, skip this one. There we go. But hello, we're waiting for ads to be over with, and then I can introduce you guys to some concepts I'm very excited about. Hi, Shay. Oh, a jelly and a taser napkin. Is that what you call stingrays? Taser napkins? Alright then. Taser napkin. I've never heard that one. That's a fun one. Oh great, you're blowing things up already, are you? Yeah. You don't deserve to get a very high jump out of that. Yeah, I'm glad you bonked your head on the... I guess mine? You bonked into the bottom of my tiny floating head. I'm personally a fan of Sea Pancake, which is technically where the inspiration for these guys came from. Which I will explain after ads are over, because I get to yap about my, the critters of the cafe. Which is what these guys are actually called. Not everything, but like, it's like the overarching name for these creatures. Because I've said before that there's creatures that live around the cafe, the Kuiper bunnies being one of them. I might actually go back to calling them the gummy bunnies, because every creature that lives around the cafe is food related. Right, you're probably going to add them to the list. I'm excited to see what you interpret them as, because we have a few creatures. I only have so many that I've actually named and that I vibe with. So I'll be explaining what a lot of these guys are on screen eventually. Huh. But does the mouse not show up? Oh. Clip Studio Paint doesn't have the mouse showing up. I just realized that. That's weird. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's just I never noticed it was doing that. I wonder if I can change that. Capture cursor is on. Whatever. But yeah, you guys should be back from ads. Welcome back. I'm very excited to get to introduce you guys to some of the creatures of the cafe, which is a kind of mini project that's been changed a lot for a while. Some of you might have noticed or remember the food dudes, as I used to call them, which were just a bunch of like food-based creatures that you could find in the cafe or around it. So they're now being called the critters of the cafe, just because I like the alliteration. And also because they're not all food-based, but they are food-inspired. You patting the Kiris in the chat? So the way these guys work is a little complicated. Also, best part is I can pause some of my other music, because I can't think. But the fun part about them is that I get to make them based off of a food is my new rule, but they're not necessarily made of that food. They may look similar to certain foods, and they may be named after certain foods, but they're not always actually that food. Like, the gummy bunnies look like they're made out of candy. That's their whole thing, is they're supposed to look like gummies. But they're not. You cannot eat them. You should not eat them. Technically, you can't, because they do not dissolve. They are weird, immortal little beings, and I love that for them. But yeah, the cafe has always been inspired by, like, game mechanics. I just like game mechanics. I'm not someone who understands coding, like, at all. So I wouldn't be able to do any coding stuff or make my own game, like, ever. Unless I made, like, a form of a card game. Wouldn't be able to make the cards and produce them, like, like Pokemon cards. But that would be, like, the best I could ever get, is making card games. Or, like, card adjacent. Because there's so many really cool games, but so many of them just do not fit that niche that I really want. Or, like, some of them do, but then it's, like, not perfect. Because, like, I always really want some sort of creature capturing simulator. But Pokemon just doesn't really do it for me, just because I don't really have the money to afford a lot of Pokemon games and stuff. And then there's the emulated versions, which are cool and all, but, like, you don't really get to interact with your Pokemon or anything. So it's cool, but it's not my type of creature collector. It's interesting. I really fuck with Cult of the Lamb. Technically not creature collecting, more so a city building sim with combat. Love Cult of the Lamb. Does great example of what I like. Slay the Spire is a good example of a card roguelike I like as well, where all of the attacks and mechanics you use are based off of your cards and extra relics that give you different effects. Really like that game. Probably should play it again. Maybe on stream, maybe not on stream. It's really fun though. I enjoy. Actually, that was the first game I came back with when I was able to stream again. I really should revisit that. I haven't played it since, like, last year, and it's really fun. I really did enjoy it. I love roguelites, too. That's another thing I love. But, like, I really like Stardew for its, like, very simple and cute, farming mechanics, but the cooking version of it just isn't my thing. I just can't keep up with a lot of it. But that's fine. I like Stardew. It's a very cool, relaxed game. I prefer playing it with friends. There's so many games that I enjoy that I wish I could, like, combine in some way to, like, make my perfect game, you know? And I would never be able to do that, at least, like, coding-wise. But art-wise, I can just keep drawing random things. Actually, you know what? Here's something I don't know if I've ever shown on stream before. I actually was planning out the, like, rough art versions of a game that I know I would never actually make. So before we get into the critters, which I will explain along the way, I actually want to show you guys what I actually did for that. Okay, Clistio Paint's throwing a damn fit and is not loading, so give me a second. But either way, I love creature collecting stuff. I love farming games and cooking sims, but so many of them just don't, like, hit the exact vibes I want for some reason. There's one I showed in the Discord that I'm really excited for because it's, like, exactly what I am looking for. Like, cooking sim game where you actually have combat in a way, like the meals you make are important and stuff. That's so sick. That's so sick. Like, cool magical creatures, fun character designs. I'm so fucking in. You have no idea. I'm so excited to see how that game grows and how it comes out, because I really want that so badly. I think it was just called Bistro, just because, fun pun. Beast as in just, like, regular, like, animal creature. Let me go find my game concept, though. Is stuff loading in now? Have you gotten part of your shit together? No, you're still fighting me. Stop fighting me. Give me my projects. I made these, damn it. I should be allowed to see them. Oh yeah, there's also the other game that I was, like, designing that was meant to be card-based. Here, I'll open that one up, too. Because I plan to combine some of my old projects that I was thinking of, and then to, like, put them together in some way, so I can kind of salvage some old ideas I had. How long ago did I work on this? Oh, never mind. I just have opened a lot of projects because I just found Comet's birthday party, or birthday card from last year. And there's, like, over 30 different projects opened past that. Never mind. I just do a lot of stuff. Where is the damn game? I'm still scrolling. I'm pretty sure. No, okay, now I'm pretty sure I passed it. Oh, nope, there's part of it. There's the fishing minigame. Where's the rest of you? I'm also seeing some old fan art concepts that I'm probably going to come back to eventually. Fan art and just art concepts I was doing. Where is it? But yeah, this, what's on screen currently is like an example of the fishing minigame I was gonna make for it. Again, this game was never going to actually exist. It was just an idea. Maybe if I just look up game, I'll find it. What are these things? Oh, they're the little glitchy guys. Okay, I remember them. There's the map I was making, Minecraft mod that was never actually gonna exist. Just a funny little thing I wanted to draw. Where the heck is my game? Oh, there it is. Game concept stuff. Okay, I found it. So we have the fishing minigame, and then we have, which this looks like nothing, but that's because this is a giant freaking page. Nope. Where is it? No, those are other cards. Oh, goodness. Okay, here's part of it. Oh. So I had, like, this little design for the menu. This was mostly UI stuff. So, like, your menu was going to be a book, and you could, like, go through the different tabs. BP, backpack. I guess this was also an inventory slot. Not sure what that's supposed to be about. And then the book cover. Different potion types that would show up, different items. Then you also had the like actual stats stuff, so you could like go through the things you can collect and make. Because the idea behind this game was that it was supposed to be some sort of like potion collection and cooking sim. Potion making, cooking sim kind of thing. You could make different potions using different ingredients. You could also make foods. I only have the potions on drawn, and then there was going to be like the different areas and different things you could find, like different types of herbs and the different biomes you find them in. Your combat system. What else? I'm pretty sure I had these set up in a way where each... Yep, there it is. So this looks very simple, but each page actually can be taken away. Or at least that was the original idea. So you're supposed to be able to like actually switch between the pages. Those are the potions. So like each page is actually physically there. And I was going to draw what you could find on each one. Never actually got that far with it, though. So yeah, this is like the inventory page. Those were going to be some of the potion types, miniature potions, bigger potions, and then like the large ones. Then there's this up here, which doesn't seem to be separated. Oh, wait, no, that's this down here. So what is... Wait, where's the book up there? Oh, there's Ina's book. Okay, there we go. So is the backpack for extra inventory. There's what you have equipped currently, which was essentially mixed with the stat stuff over here with the combat. So you have like your tools. Each thing was supposed to have like a sort of sketchy style of what you currently had equipped. I'm not sure why the rollerblades are in the weapons. I have no idea what any of this meant because I didn't write it down. Here's what your stats and stuff would have looked like. There's different items you can equip, your health, your mana. I guess these were like the different stats that are influenced. Like, let's say green is luck, red was like attack. I made this all the way back when I was playing, all the way back when I played Slay the Spire, so that's probably where a lot of this inspiration came from. I also drew like some of the basic screens, like a mock version of the fighting. You'd have different cards that you used for combat. Every item essentially looked like a card when you were picking it up. So like let's say you went out to go collect some berries from a bush. You'd attack it, you'd drop the berry cards. Some cards are combat, like spells, physical weapon attacks, different monsters, like the chest, which was only supposed to be temporary, and then there's the different books for different characters, because at some point I realized I wanted to add my OCs into this game, because I knew it was never going to exist. So, like, each main character has a different looking book based off of their powers. You can't see that I'm, like, touching each book, but they're here. The pink one is for my character Ina, and this is her spell slots and stuff. Neil is the orange book. Kalisha is the green book, and Daisy is the purple book. Then there's the fishing minigame, which I have more in depth here in how it works. This was all very exciting when I was making it. No idea what this area... Oh, this is the garden, right. Because those are supposed to be like the base version of the garden before anything's been added yet. And then the potion mock-up minigame. And how they'd be created. But yeah, this was just some little old project I worked on a while ago that I will probably never revisit. I refuse. Because, again, there will be nothing that comes from this. It looks cool. I can't admit that. It sounds cool. But I cannot code. Therefore, this will just have to exist in my head. Card jump scare. But yeah, I was also going to plan out like the way the cards actually look when you were holding them. The attacking cards and stuff like that versus like item cards. The different elements, which there's too fucking many. absolutely do not build a game with this many card types. Because back to the card jump scare, where even is this thing? There we go. This is showing how many cards I was going to have to end up making. The different weapon attacks, the different spell cards, at least giving each one 2 different attacks. And then up here was going to be specific cards for characters, because there was 4 main characters, each having their own types of attacks, as well as different mobs having different attacks. Because you couldn't give, like, Bear the multi-jab. These don't make sense. These could have been just called Slash and all, but, like, so then there was, like, Claw Strike, or Claw Slash. The stronger the enemy got, the different attacks they'd get. It sounds fun in theory. In theory. And only some of them had symbols. Now be gone. You may not haunt me anymore. It was just a fun little project I got to work on in the background, just to, like, keep my mind busy, I guess. Since, like I said, I don't know coding, nor do I plan to, so that game is never going to exist. It's just a fun little project. This is also a different one that's fully card-based and wasn't going to have, like, any visuals for it. At least, not yet. Where each thing was based off of a card suit and then some, like, extra stuff. Including, like, taking I can't remember the math for this, but see how there's, like, the actual cards you get in, like, a classic playing deck? Plus these 7 and the Joker, that was how many cards was going to be in this. And I was going to come up with. Yeah, not smart. Not a good idea. Never actually did much with it. But yeah, all 7 of these card types are going to each have this many. Bad idea. I don't know why I was in, like, some weird game creation kick at some point. Game art and stuff is super cool and can be very inspiring. Just never actually went anywhere with it. Yeah, it was super fun to come up with stuff like this. I love coming up with ideas. I'm just very bad at actually making anything with them. So, obviously that's not going anywhere. But yeah, those are just some game ideas that I came up with, which eventually are inspiring what's going on with the cafe, because although I will never really be able to learn coding, nor do I really plan to, I do want to make the critters feel very game-like. And because I just think games are cool, and they add fun stuff. So, like, adding things that kind of gamify my channel is stuff I want to do. Like, you can kind of see with the way these type symbols are designed for the creatures. The critters is actually kind of based off of classic playing cards. So, like, spicy looks kind of like a diamond. So does water, though, which is the problem. Which, well, salty, not water, but it's one of the, like, direct correlations for me. Savory is the orange one, and it looks kind of like an upside-down spade. Or not a spade. Club. Spade actually didn't influence anyone in particular, but it probably should. And then I just added together some of these other things. But yeah, what I'm doing today, eventually, after I've gotten a good Yap session out, is I'm going to be drawing some of the creatures I've already thought of and designed partially so I can show them to you guys. So obviously you're already familiar with the Gummy Bunnies, which are currently on screen. They're the main channel mascots that don't have, like, names like Rhea and Pluto do. They're just funny little creatures, and they are goddamn everywhere. But there's also a few other friends. We have the Watchers, which are not on screen. We have the jellies, which is this little jellyfish thing up here. We have the Manta Fe, which are based off of pancakes, actually. I'm actually really excited because a lot of them are like breakfasty foods, which is funny because, again, cafes tend to serve breakfasty foods. So that, I guess, is to be expected. I also might add a typing system. No, not a typing system. A tier system of like how powerful they are, like you see here, where they can evolve into bigger versions of themselves. Who knows? Oh yeah, that's for something that doesn't exist anymore, so be gone. We're only having 3 tiers. We're not doing that. You'd drive myself crazy if I try that. This little critter right here no longer exists. And I'm not even sure what it was. It was just some old doodle. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Is I get to draw a lot of creature design. Very excited for it. I really have to cough today for some reason. Alright, sorry. I think I turned myself up by accident. I think I fixed it. Sometimes I forget that I have to touch the screen I'm trying to tab back into. And when I forget to do that, there are like minor issues that happen in OBS because I tabbed into it for 1 second to like mute. And then I'll press a button that does something in OBS, and I'm never fully sure what I've done. Sometimes I've accidentally like switched screens or like muted myself because of it, but it's fine. I might also mess with the typings. Today is kind of just a letting me draw for the fun of it. Because I'll be honest, it's been a little bit of a rough week. So I want to draw my sillies. Hello? Drawing tablet? Flip Studio? Okay, that was weird. It, like, forced me to not be able to draw for a second, which was great. Do not do this to me. Also, I don't know how to draw creatures. Or animals. At all. So, we're in for a ride today. But yeah, I'm now going to actually get into the different creatures of the cafe. Critters. I'll say both. They're canonically critters. So for the critters of the cafe, one of the oldest ones is these little jellyfish guys, which I think I want to get my mechanical pen out because I like it better for drawing things like this. A lot of their names are still very unofficial, which is fine. And their finalized designs are not picked yet either. But these are some of the older ones compared... Like, they're probably the second creature I thought up, aside from the gummy bunnies. And good lord, do I love them, because they're just so simple, but so fun to draw as well. If I hadn't decided that I really wanted the gummy bunnies to be my main mascots, because I really like moon stuff, and they make me think of the moon rabbit, then I would have gone with these things. Which, currently, their official name is the Jelly Sprites. Because they're supposed to be inspired by, like, sprite creatures. You know what I'm talking about. The tiny little fairies that tend to float around. They look kind of like jellyfish, kind of like octopus. And, you're probably thinking, oh, they're jellyfish, so they live underwater. Nope. They live near water. They like water. but they do not canonically live underwater. I think I drew this one's head too small. Also, I'll be honest, not fully sure what counts as this thing's head. Just like with real jellyfish, they are just kind of little weirdos that exist however they feel like. I do not know if they canonically have eyes. They somehow can hear, but they don't have ears. In my head, they're kind of like, Flumbo? What the fuck is that thing? Anyone who plays D&D, you know what I'm talking about. The weird little spaghetti creature. Flumbus? Flumbos? Flumps. Okay, I'm just adding words that don't exist. They're kind of like flumps, like straight up. Which I believe look more like this. Their little open mouths. Weird ass eyes. Here, I'm drawing a flump from memories, and this is gonna be fun. Pretty sure they kind of look like this, because they have eyes like this. Pretty sure I'm missing something here. It's okay. It's... I wish I was joking, but this is kind of what they look like. I need to bring up a flump on screen so people who don't know what I'm talking about don't think I'm crazy. But this is like actually what flumps fucking look like. Oh no, never mind, I'm incorrect. Oh, they're so much funnier. I fucked up. This ain't this boy ain't right. I copied the image, placed the image. Oh, it's not gonna let me. Put one in the Discord. Thank you. There is a flump in the Discord, right? Thank you. Yep, that's wrong. That ain't what they look like. I forgot their stupid ass eye stalks, but again, this is kind of just what they look like. But yeah, flumps are one of the few, like, friendly aberrations. So I kind of inspired the weird floating jellyfish creatures off of that. They only really have, like, 2 little tentacles, and then they have their little feet. But they're constantly flying around. Sometimes they get more. Sometimes they get short ones. Short little tendril thingies. But normally they just have like 2 to 4. Always having an even amount. But this is like their smaller form. There's obviously the bigger one down here. I do like to imagine that they are capable of landing and running around, which sounds incredibly funny to me. How would they look though? Ooh, that's a fun one. How do they look when they run? You know, it would be like this. Sometimes they land and run around. Silly little guys. Yes, see what? Yeah, you know what? This one gets a butt. I was trying to connect its leg, but you know what? No, this one canonically has a tushy. Maybe it's when they're really tired, they'll like run around, and it's because their like little tendrils aren't working properly, and they follow behind them like they're Naruto running. But yeah, normally they fly, so this is fucking hilarious looking. Oh yeah, this one should be, oh, too big of an eraser. This one should be shorter since it's the one that's behind them. This one got a foot. Ah. They have no mouth. They have no real, like... Thank you, Comment, for the bit. They have no real, like... any, like, face holes, they have no ears, they have no eyes, they have no mouth. But they just do stuff. Oh yeah, the little Squidward dancing thing. Yeah, it does kind of look like that. I get that, I see that, because of the, like, little thingies flapping about. Yeah, this one's running for some reason. Not sure why, not sure to where, but he's running. Here, let's give him some little, like, fast lines. This one's Naruto running. Or should his leg be out like this? Oh, now it looks like he's he's falling. Or he's like superhero landing. But yeah, their little leggies do work. These are like functioning little nub legs. Mushroom dance, whatever could it mean? It means you've lived a life of sin. But yeah, similar to actual jellyfish, they are kind of opaque and see-through. And they just kind of glow and have multiple colors. Oftentimes they will pick one main color, so they'll be like pink or purple or green or yellow. And they have like their natural color, in which they normally are. But they're also similar to flumps, capable of experiencing emotion. And when they are emotional, they as a group are technically a hive mind. They are not really individual. There is a big one, which I have incorporated in a different form, which you will also get to see today. Which I'm very excited to show you guys, because that is something that has been sitting in the works for a while. So at some point in time, I believe I've told you guys that there is a sort of underground dungeon of sorts near the cafe that adventurers or cafe residents or anyone else who wants to go down into is allowed to go to. The fun part about that, heavy quote on the fun, is that it's a dungeon, so there are creatures that live within there. And they will fight back if you try to take their stuff, or sometimes just if they see you. Similar to a dungeon. But most of the creatures down there are custom mobs. Now, sometimes there's the occasional normal, like, goblin that's found its way in there and set up base with its friends. But oftentimes, some of the more aggressive creatures of the critters of the cafe live down there. And some of the biggest creatures that are residents of the cafe also live in that dungeon. Which means if people go down there, they potentially have to fight the bosses of the cafe, as I am calling them. I'm not fully sure how many there are, probably going to be 6, 1 to represent each of the main types, potentially even 7 to add like a basic one for bland typing, as I like to call it. Because there is actually a 7th type that's essentially like normal type in Pokemon, called bland type. For anything and any creature that doesn't really have a specific food or flavor. They have no real extra powers, and most times are just regular creatures plus. I think this looks a little bit better. I don't think I like the leggies being a different color. I think the leggies should be the same color. And then it's like the tips. So like, this is just a regular pink one. I'm so bland type. Honestly, talking animals would probably count. So like, let's say this is the pink one. Imagine it's like slightly opaque. He's kind of not, but... Oh wait, actually, would this work? Let me try something for the like sort of opaque look. That kind of works. Does make it like a little bit see-through. But yeah, these guys are still just the jelly sprites. But there is a big one, and like I said, they are a hive mind. So the big one is essentially the one in charge of the rest of them. The big one lives and hides within one of the boss rooms. But when the dungeon is closed, she actually is very friendly and lives outside of the boss room in the lake, which is where a majority of the salty types live. Though I might change it to the jellyfish being the main ambassadors of sweet typing, since they're jellyfish and jelly type. So, Shay, I apologize if you're trying to take congruent notes. That's not the right word, I don't think. But if you're trying to take, like, notes that are like, oh yeah, this is end-all be-all, be prepared to change a lot of stuff or make them be like, Cause that's my answer to a lot of these things, is just, I'm still thinking of them. So if you're wondering which type these guys count as, put them as salty/sweet. They might be one or the other, probably thinking sweet. Because I've said before that I want each creature to have like a specific typing. There are no dual types. Rule number 1. This is not Pokemon. We do not have dual types here, I'm sorry. Okay, this kind of works for making them look see-through. Might need to add a little bit more color to blend on the edges. No sour variant. Ah, see, that's the thing though, Maples. We may not have dual typings, but we do have multi-type variants. So some creatures do have variants of different typings. So that is correct. We do have variants, but we do not have dual typings. So there might be something of the same species that has a different type and is some kind of subspecies, like the Kuiper bunnies. They have 3 different typings. Like the regional variants in Pokemon. Yeah. Another good example would also be Digimon, because if you guys remember when I was playing Cyber Sleuth, there was like the white and black Gatomon, which are both technically Gatomon, but they're also different types. One's virus, one is vaccine. So kind of like that. Except these things are supposed to be kind of natural, but also kind of magic creatures. Which is why I'm like 50-50 if there's evolution versions, or if they just have like some of them turn big for some reason. This is actually a really good way to show that a creature is opaque. I actually really like this. Let's do this again in the center. Oh, I hear Tate boofing in the background again. But yeah, I don't know if there's sour variants of these guys just yet. Since they are supposed to be based off of jellies and jams, so potentially. Which also means their colors tend to be, like, sort of a lighter color first. And then you can, like, add in the darker variants on the edges. Like this thing has. This is supposed to be like strawberry jam. Nope. Echo's messaging me about their schedule, so we might have a Deltarune stream next week. Deltarune! But yeah, this is also why I'm really excited to Yap, because it does give me a chance to be like, do I think I like this? What do you guys think? Obviously, when it comes to the cafe, in any project I make, I am very picky about things. So I do like to hear ideas sometimes. But also other times I'm like, let me think on my own. I'll figure it out. I can be very particular when it comes to ideas. I like listening to you talk about stuff. Thank you. I like talking about stuff. It's nice having people who enjoy hearing the things I have to say. Normally, I only have a couple, like, friends I'll pester at times when I want to talk about stuff. And, usually that friend is Echo. Sometimes when other people are available, I'll yap with them. Echo's like my #1 fan when it comes to like my OCs and stuff. They just are. I talk to them about all my OC stuff. That's just because Echo's like super helpful and really likes listening. I'm not sure if I like their... Again, like I said, I'm not fully sure if this thing is their head or not. Couldn't tell you. They're kind of like actual jellyfish where they're just like weirdly bag-shaped. Not fully sure what they're doing or what they're made out of. They just kind of float around and do stuff. I don't even know if they really eat or not. One day I might try to make like an actual, excuse me, what is it? Bestiary? I think that's the word I want, is an actual bestiary for these things. Like the different creatures of the cafe. They just kind of vibe. Exactly. Ooh. Now this color doesn't stand out as much. Multiply. Okay, I don't know what I've done, but I've turned this thing mildly scary, and I don't know why I feel that way. Something about this is wrong. Back. Back. It's fine. Either way, you get the point. These things are see-through. They have different color variations. Essentially, any version of a jelly or jam you can think of, that is a color they can be. So, like, grape, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry jam, banana. Ew. Is there banana jam? What does that look like? What the fuck would that look like? Can you even turn bananas into a jam or jelly? Looking it up. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. I totally don't have to say that or hear that song in my head to remember how to spell banana. Ew. I don't like banana jelly. This upsets me so for some reason. Some of them are brown. Why are some of these brown? Some of the... Why is this green? What the... What? Why? I guess it's banana flavored, but like, why is it green? What? Alright then. I have to now. Don't mind me. All right. Sorry, I'm pestering Kiri during his subathon, which we will definitely be rating him at the end if he's still live by the time I'm done with stream. I got gifted a sub when I checked in, so I had to get him a 10th of the way there. No. He just asked me, "Aren't you streaming?" It's like, no. I would never be looking at someone else's stream while I'm live. Just pestering him. Ooh, wait, that makes me think. Kiri just did, Bean Boozle. What would a jelly bean creature look like in the cafe? Oh, you got mouthwash, damn. Okay. Yeah, he's having a good time. I didn't want him to have to do the Bean Boozle, I just wanted to get him a 10th of the way there. There's like, it's technically not like the end goal, it's just, I think that's the last incentive that's on the list. So I wanted to do the thing, you know? Support my friend. I don't even know who that went to. Someone gifted me one, I had to. Also, shout out to Kiri. That better be the right goddamn Kiri guy. Okay. I've accidentally shouted out someone who wasn't, because I misspelled one of my friends' names before, so there we go. But yeah, we're gonna raid Kiri by the time this is over with. Ooh, Chinese food. Yummy. Wait, just like a regular orange? You know what? Sometimes you need some extra vitamin D. But alright, either way, back to the creatures. Now I'm kind of thinking of a jelly bean creature. But yeah, these are the jelly sprites, which is their current name, not their end-all be-all name. Everyone's names have been changed many times before. But yeah, these are one of my favorites because they are one of the oldest ones, and they're so damn cute to me. So, now I move on to showing you my second favorite and one of the also oldest creatures. Weirdly enough, I've come up with a lot of creature ideas, but only so many of them have stuck. And, Shay, one of them you called out earlier, because these two are essentially the ones you saw earlier, but they were drawn like 2 years ago, so it's been a while. Also, oh my god, I have no idea how to draw a manta ray. So, it's time to play my favorite game when it comes to art. Fuck around and find out. Because this one is the jellyfish. Not the jellyfish. These are called mantifae. I understand that manta rays have like this little face going on. Like their underbelly, I guess. This is also another of the flying creatures. I may or may not have added them to the sprite jellies in my notes, not jelly sprites. Sprite jelly, jelly sprite, both work. It makes me giggle. Yeah, this thing looks stupid already. And I'm fine with it. It's getting worse. It's getting so much worse. Okay, drawing things from memory always ends up being really funny because I'm going to look this up later and be like, what's a jelly? I'm going to look this up in a second and we're going to see how wrong this is for like a normal manta ray. That's the fantasy part of its tale. I really like adding these things on creatures. Do they have noses? Probably not. They have gills. Alright, let's play that game again. What the fuck does this thing actually look like? It's not gonna be this. Manta ray. It's not fucking close at all. Oh boy. Okay, how do I even get a here? You know what? This is almost like the opposite version of the angle in which I have drawn copy image. Are there eyes on the sides of their heads? Oh. Well, that would make sense. To be fair, oh god. Sorry. Manta ray jump scare. This image is so much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Took up the whole screen and then some. Just drink. Manta jump scare. Okay, so I know I'm drawing this incorrectly, but that's on purpose because the manta rays do have sort of like puppy dog faces and they have little horns instead of it being like part of their mouth. So I knew that was wrong. But like, there's still some very clear mistakes on the like fins. Not too bad. Shark, moth, hoo-ha-ha. What? Is it bad that I recently want to change my Sona to a shark or a shark moth? Oh, that'd be cool. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be like really fucking cool. Actually, that's kind of what this thing looks like, doesn't it? More like a... Oh, whale shark. Looks like a whale shark more than anything, with the mouth. Totally not trying to draw a shark from memory either. My Cliffsdale pen is lagging. It's already mad at me for attempting to draw the cursed shark. Come on, I want to add its little teepees. You get back here, motherfucker. I have a stupid shark to draw. There we go. He's happy. This is not how sharks work. Their fin, I don't think they should be able to curl like this, but that's fine. It's so freaking derpy. This isn't right at all. Sure. Shop. Say hello to the shop. This is this is Comet. Comet _ shop. Your true thought. It's not that fucking funny, but like it's everything to me. Oh, my chest hurts. This is dumb. That's dumb. I love it. Alright, say goodbye. I mean, technically Mothman is also like one of those like freaky creatures. You could technically be like Mothman. Moth them. Comet the moth them. But yeah, I forgot. I looked away when I was turning back, and then I got I got met with the Manta Fae, which is my beloved. Manta Fae, my beloved. Manta Faes do not make any damn sense. I told you before, I was like, it'd be really cool if you were Mothman, because it also made me think of the time you were a phantom. You can still be Mothman. You have very cryptid vibes. Manta Fae do not have regular manta ray thingies. Instead, theirs look kind of like butterfly wings. They do not have patterns, sadly. Maybe they do, actually. Well, technically that's not true. They actually have this sort of blank face. Drawing this thing from, like, an upward angle is really fucking bad. It's... Not again! Not again! Why? Why does it look like this? A group of moths is called a whisper or an eclipse. Yes, you told us that. I think you wanted to call your chat members the eclipses. I'm assuming you're saying huh because you forgot again. Isn't that why your server is called Comet's Eclipse or something? Where's your server? Yeah, it's Comet's Eclipse Hangout. You named it that. You knew this. Comet, I love your lack of memory because it adds so many like fun things. Because you knew that, you named your server that, and then you forgot that you named your server that. Everything is new and enjoyable to you, and I'm so glad that you have that kind of whimsy for the world because your memory's bad. Comet, if you had selective memory, then you'd get to choose what you remember. And you clearly don't. It's not selective. If you had a choice to remember things, I feel like you'd be choosing to remember different things. This... the Mantifae look fucking dumb. That's kind of been, like, their whole purpose. Their entire life's purpose is to simply bring joy. They are, here, we'll get into the explanation of these things before I continue to fuck up drawing them. They are essentially the puppies of the sky, as I like to call them. That's what they are. They're the puppies of the sky. Because just like their other aquatic-based brethren, they can fly. One of these wings is bigger than the other. And it's not the right one. Stretch. Oh, that's not right. There we go. Stretch. Shrink. There we go. Oh shit, we have ads. Fun fact, since we're on the subject, a group of stingrays is called a fever. Oh, interesting. Shay, I don't know if you can hear me, so I'll ask you later after ads are over with, but what is a group of jellyfish called? If there are different names for different species, also please do share. Well, I wonder if the jelly sprites should have, like, head symbols, kind of like moon jellies. Or if they should have different, more dangerous variants. Oh, that should 100% be their sour variation. The sweet variation just floats around. The sour ones have, like, an actual sting and poison, like real jellyfish, like man-o'-wars and shit. I don't think man-o'-wars are jellyfish, but you know what I mean. Yeah, the puppies of the sky. I love them. I forgot something that's kind of cursed about them, though, is their mouths open, like, really fucking wide. They constantly have this little, like, little happy dumb face. And they have itty-bitty little eyes, so they constantly look like they're just doing... Wah! But their mouths are actually, like, really fucking big. So when they really open their mouths, it looks more like this. More. More. Whoa. Their mouths are very large, which also means you gotta be a little careful when you feed them, because they tend to have the tiny mouth open, which is like, oh yeah, you know what, you're friendly. Oh. Hey, I'm glad you're eating your fruit. But yeah, these guys are also fucking massive, just like an actual manta ray, which, let me look how manta ray actually grow. I know I've seen them next to people, and they're like almost the same size, so I do think they're like 5 feet or so. My bra. Oh, they can pass the mirror test. They're smart. Oh my goodness, they're smart. Oh, they get Blackbird. They really are kind of like puppies. I don't believe manta rays are the poisonous ones. I think they're just big. I don't know how they protect themselves, though. Species... Sea pancake. Filter feeders, right. How do you guys survive? You're eaten by sharks, orcas, and false killer whales. How do you keep yourself safe? They can do the mirror test, so they are intelligent. Oh, hi, Shay. I see you see my doodle. When you guys went for ad break, I added the extra line. Because I remembered, their mouths are a lot bigger than they look at first. Their mouths are kind of tiny looking, but if they open their mouths all the way, they look like this. This is just sort of like the, oh, I'm just chilling, I'm gonna eat something tiny. But similarly to a snake, their mouths can open very largely if they want to. They are inspired by things, not just manta ray, because they're filter feeder mouths, as well as like whale sharks and basking sharks, where they are just like fucking horrifying when you look at them straight down. But they're also only capable of eating plants and stuff. Hell, these guys don't have teeth. Which is also why I'm comparing them to snakes, because they don't have teeth. That also means Meeples, when it is feeding time for the manta fae, please do not leave the cafe. I don't want to know what happens to you. Okay, no, they're supposed to be vegetarians. But, like, just in case. Just in case they get curious, please don't leave the cafe. I'm scared what might happen to you. Comet, also keep yourself and all of your moths hidden. Same warning goes for Wolf, who is canonically like 4 inches tall. Might accidentally get scooped up. Yeah. So the way these guys eat is like really fucking funny in my head. I love all of my creatures because I make them really stupid. The critters of the cafe are not meant to be super serious. So like, let's say you see a manta fae with their little funny puppy mouth doing their thing. They have these little bumps on their heads, kind of like frogs do. Their face shape is kind of inspired by frogs as well, which is why they do what they do. I have no idea how I would draw this thing, like, just chilling from, like, any angle. So, like, they'll just be chilling. Let's say this is accurate enough. And they do have this little, like, steering tail, kind of like a bird. It is just made out of, like, more of their, like, thin material, I guess. So it's not like feathers or anything, but like this guy's just hanging out. He then goes up to a unsuspecting tree. I say unsuspecting because this poor thing's about to get fucking annihilated. And I want you guys to guess, please. How do you think this thing eats? Let's have some guesses in the chat. I am safe for once, as long as they don't suddenly hit me with the concentrated power of the sun. Yeah, they'd actually be helpful because they're like 5 foot large. They're 5 foot large. They are, because they're like the same size as actual manta rays, they can just be used as like giant sun blockers. They are capable of minor amounts of photosynthesis, just like sheep. Fuck. God damn it, that's not what I meant to say. No, not sheep. Not like regular sheep. I meant sea sheep, like the nudibranch that is capable of. God damn it! No, I've already fucked it up. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't even fucking matter. Yeah, sheep. Sheep fucking photosynthesize. Who cares? God damn it! Let me find what it's actually called. Never mind. I'm not saying that. I don't know how to say this. Costelia kirishime? Shume. So there is a sea slug that is named the leaf slug, sea sheep, or leaf sheep. And they are capable of photosynthesis because they eat so much plankton and their bodies absorb it, and they are capable of absorbing the sun. But I literally forgot to say sea, so all I said was they're capable of photosynthesis. Like sheep. You know. Sheep. Known for their photo fucking synthesis. Putting stream marker down, I want that one. I want that clip. I'm gonna get that later. Alright, either way, like I was saying, anyone have any more guesses for how the manta fae eat food? Stupid little puppet face. I love these things. Oh, I forgot his little bumpies. No idea what purpose these things serve, by the way. If any. It's just to make them look more like their counterparts. I need a minute to recover after that one, my poor ribs. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Shay. Just... Sheep can, but their wool stops them. Yeah, exactly. They're restricted by God. God gave sheep wool so they could no longer photosynthesize. Oh yeah, I'm trying to draw Polytrix. I'm excited. You've been telling us about it since yesterday. I want to see what you did. Yeah, I can, especially with Zoe's little hair thingies. Very cute. Hair that's up is always difficult, though. Oh my god, Shay, that's horrifying. Could you imagine that? Oh my god, are they actually that strong, though? I've never thought about how strong they are because they mostly just don't attack anything. But either way, everyone who said they Kirby the tree is correct. Yeah, they're like giant fucking vacuums. Which is why their mouths are capable of opening that big. The power of the fucking sun! No, the power of the winds. Correct! They are little vacuum creatures. This poor tree. Leaf. Yeah, whenever they're hungry, they just kind of fly up to trees or vegetation and just, like, vacuum noises. And suddenly the tree is naked. Which also means they will oftentimes consume the apples on trees and different fruit. Which also means that manta fae do scare the shit out of animals. Because if you can imagine how many creatures live in a tree and how upsetting it would be if you just brought like a vacuum into their house. Yeah, please be careful when you're near the trees. They also eat vegetation off of the ground, and this is also how they drink water. they drink water the same way. A mantifae will just like go up to a body of water, mouth open, and then just drink like that. They have little froggy heads. That's what they look like. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Like a giant... all the water in the lake is threatened. I'm just gonna draw a distressed fish swimming for its goddamn life. Help! Help! This poor fish is trying to survive. But yeah, they essentially just like go up to trees and vacuum the leaves. They're like a shop vac. Oh yeah, they are kind of like the vacuum from I don't know if Shop Vac is also the name of the like vacuum from Slime Rancher, that thing too, but it makes me think of that because they can drink the water and stuff. But yeah, they will eat just about any like water thing, food thing, and just vacuum it up. Like the funny little weirdos they are. Technically, you are all right though, because Shay, you did say that you think they bite on the tree and just rip it out of the ground. That's far funnier than what they actually do. But sometimes they will just walk up, walk, they don't have legs. They'll just fly up to a tree, gently hold part of it, and then just like rip off little leaf bits to eat. If they're particularly hungry for fruit, they will just like fly into the tree for the fruit and then just like take it and walk and like fly away. Don't ask me how these things actually fly, they're essentially magic. If you want to know how any of the things in this world work, magic is your only answer you're getting. I do not care for like how things would actually work because a manta ray looking creature could not fly in any way, shape, or form unless you count jumping out of the water and praying. And until that motherfucker splats, I guess it flew. But like, that would be animal endangerment. Please never do that to a poor manta ray. They are just minding their business. To me, they are puppies of the sea. They just mind their business, eat their phytoplankton or whatever, and chill. But yeah, the mantifae photosynthesize, eat plants, and drink lots of water. If you're wondering what happens if a mantifae eats a full living creature, because I know we're all worried about it. Like I said earlier, there's lots of creatures that live in trees. So let's say a mantifae is eating an accidentally squirrel. They just spit them out. It's kind of similar to what happens when a whale accidentally eats a person or something gets in its mouth that it's not supposed to eat. They literally cannot swallow it. But then again, you're probably wondering, Kuyu, then how do they eat leaves or apples and fruit? How would they do that? Well, that squirrel better get the fuck out of there fast because these things, I lied when I said they don't have teeth. They don't have easily visible teeth. I am very sorry for the upsetting information you were about to witness me draw. So let's say this is their mouth up here. We're having like a little 3D model of their body. This is cursed already. At least give the model some eyes. Let's say this is like an X-ray, and the rest of their body is kind of gone for this purpose. We're giving the little guy an X-ray. He's a potato. He kind of fucking looks like one, yeah. So, for purpose sake, this is their mouth area. They have a very itty-bitty little throat pouch right about here. It leads into, like, the rest of the stomach. This is their mouth. In between this little throat area are giant brick-like teeth. Slug. Probably should make their like little throat area bigger. So kind of similar to how cows have really, like a lot of, hell, any herbivore has these little teeth like this. All flat teeth. They do have flat teeth, but the throat part is very small and can't fit most things. So like compared to the rest of their inner mouth, the rest of their stomach, they do have these like set of teeth to crunch down on things. They don't have teeth in the front. You cannot see their teeth, and they do have a tongue. Funnily enough, their tongues are also incredibly long for the sake of them not eating things they're not supposed to. So like, let's say a big guy fully opens its mouth, poor squirrel gets stuck in there. They have very long, flat tongues. That are capable of holding on to things. Kind of like like a giraffe tongue. Thank you. Perfect example. So they have very long giraffe-like tongues that are capable of picking up and moving things. Also helps them with eating. They will grab apples with their funny tongue. Also why they're called the puppies of the sky, they have giant tongues and they will fucking lick you. If they like you, they will come up to you and they will go lick. They're the puppies of the sky for a reason. They're funny little weirdos. But yeah, if something ends up in their mouth that they're not supposed to have, they will try to, like, push it out before they continue eating. And then their little, like, throat teeth will chew their food. The inside of these things are fucking horrifying. But it's for good reason. I like how I said earlier that I'm gonna ignore, like, actual logic for some of these creatures, but I also do like adding, like, pseudo-science to magic creatures. Yeah, they have bee logic where they do flap their wings at times, but they also, like, it doesn't fully matter. They're kind of like Kirby. They just don't fully make sense when you think about it. Yeah, you could see it in their drawing from earlier too. They do have tongues when their mouth is fully open. It's hard to see when their mouth is closed. But they do have a very long tongue. And they have throat teeth. Idea, let cloud giants keep them as pets. I do like that, but I would say let regular giants keep them because I don't know how much plant life would be in a cloud. So I think a lot of giants would probably keep them though. But yeah, that's what they look like on the inside. Weird little stomach hatch. Don't ask me how these things shit, okay? We've already got too much science added. There's too much logic here. Though that is one of the painful parts of being the caretaker of the cafe, is I do have to clean up after the creatures. Though if these things are incredibly intelligent and are like puppies, they probably can be potty trained, which is really funny. Since they're herbivores, that would actually just be like regular fertilizer too. Who would have thought? Thinking about how my stupid fictional made-up creature shit is actually helpful. They're good sources of fertilizer. I have no idea how they fly. They launch themselves up and breathe with a breath and glide. Wait, Fancy, that's like actually really fucking funny though. Wait, I love that. I might make that canon. Cause like if they have vacuum mouths, that also implies that they have like giant lungs somewhere in there. Ooh, I wonder if that's partially how they fly. They probably have a giant pair of lungs that takes up a lot of their like main part of their body, and they're incredibly light outside of that. So they just like float based off of like air power alone. But that's like a really good idea because what if they are able to like just send out like, what is it called? It's not a vacuum, it's the opposite of that. If you've ever seen those like air guns where you like pull it back and it sends out like a giant blast, it's kind of like that. And that'd be like how they defend themselves often probably, because like that would throw off the balance of most flying creatures. So that's probably how they defend themselves without having any real like form of attack. They just like a burst. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good one. An air burst. That's probably the word I'm looking for. They just send out like a giant burst of air at any like birds that try to attack them, and then all of a sudden, boom, no more bird. So, yeah, they get sent flying in the other direction, and then they just kind of learn their lesson from there. Like, I'm not doing that shit. I don't want to deal with that. Not only is that good for their self-defense, but it also makes sense. If they're capable of doing vacuum stuff like this, they should be able to do the opposite. I like that idea, Fancy. I'm gonna go write that down in my notes, if you don't mind. I love that. Before they could only vacuum, but now they can do the burst as well. I will go back through this stream at some point to write down a lot of my notes too. Because some of this is stuff I haven't written down, but it's like stuff in my head. I can already see these guys bugging a party on a cliff. Oh yeah, 100%. They are very similar to like horses and stuff, where if you have something they want, they will just start following you. I say horses specifically because I have seen so many funny images and videos of horses just like following people around because like, I want what you got. I know you got something. Horses are fucking menaces, and it's so funny the way they act. There is no safe place from these freaks unless you like get into a cave that they can't fit in. Because they just won't go in there for like their sake. If they can't fit into something, they aren't going to bother it. What do these guys do when they sleep? Do they sleep in trees or sleep on the floor? So are dolphins. Yeah, dolphins are fucking menaces. If you have fish, they will pester you. They will follow you around. Yeah, sure, send me the sketch. But yeah, these things gotta be one of my favorites. I feel like Wolf will thoroughly enjoy this, but I feel like she's gonna enjoy all of these because, like, vaguely sea creature themed. They're so dumb. Yeah, they like to snack. But yeah, these guys are capable of eating just about any vegetation. If you give them something they shouldn't eat, like they won't eat meat, they cannot properly digest it. Okay, that's not true. They technically can. They just normally cannot eat it for the sake of, like, they don't have sharp teeth. Which is also why I'm like, be careful. They might accidentally eat you. It will mostly just be traumatizing. You will not die. But, like, the trauma of it. Like I said, these things are horrifying on the inside. You don't want to be in there. It's also probably, like, really gross. It's probably horrible. Because it's just all mouth. All mouth and then the just, like, grinding set of teeth. Aw, that's cute. I like that. But yeah, these guys are some of my favorites. I can actually add, like, lore to them. They have throat teeth. Yep, their throat teeth are awful. And horrifying. What is this? I made a folder, but I didn't put anything in it yet. Oops. But yeah, this is the Mantifae. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. They're my silly little weirdos. These are the jelly sprites, also my silly little weirdos. And now we move on to a home classic, because I haven't drawn them yet, and I really should. So let's talk about more lore behind the Gummy Bunnies. Which I think I will be putting their name back to Gummy Bunny, just because everyone else has names that are somewhat inspired by either their animal or their food. Like the jelly sprites are based off of jellies and jams, therefore jelly, also jellyfish. It works for both. The Kuiper Bunnies are also fun, because everything here feels like a Kirby creature, but like wrong. The Mantifae, also they are based off of pancakes. If you were wondering what their creature was, it's pancakes. Probably should color their sketches from earlier because the other ones got a colored sketch. But yeah, they look kind of like pancakes. I even had a note from earlier. I might change it to make them something else. But my note from earlier was that they are this sort of like brown beige color to make them look like pancakes, of course. But there was also something else to it. Because there are slight variants to these guys that I think we will all be happy to know. Which is, they have different spots based off of the pancake they're inspired by. Ooh, that's a fun idea. I'll see how it looks, and if I like it, I might keep it. Since originally they were called Mantifae because they had little star tails, which have been changed to these things. But yeah, they do have spots all over their backs that are only visible dependent on what creature they are. Well, sorry, not creature, what type of pancake they are. So obviously there's like chocolate chip Mantifaes that have little brown spots, or blueberry ones that have blueberry spots. It also changes the color of the inside of their mouth and their tongue. Because of course it does. So like, let's say this is a basic Mantifae. I'll add little like color changes to it later as well to show off the variations. I guess the basic ones either have a pink inside of their mouth or brown as well. Nope, a little more saturation. I think that's less saturated, actually. Yeah, they do have these sort of little white bellies, similar to how actual manta ray look like, since they do that for their safety, I believe. It's so when you look at them upwards, they blend in with the sky, and when you look at them from downwards above them, their coat is darker to help make them look more like the grass and stuff around them. But yeah, the Mantifae. Very simple little creatures. I love them. Oh! That's a good idea, too. Here, let me make the... Oh, this is a little saturated still. Coloration still isn't perfect. Maybe the inside of the basic one's mouth is yellow. Like the butter. Yeah, each creature is supposed to be inspired by a food. Just because the cafe, it makes more sense for it to be weird food-inspired critters, but they aren't actually made of food. You may not eat these guys, and if you do try to eat them, they will not taste like the foods they look like. Most of them are actually incredibly dangerous to eat, actually, and you really shouldn't try it. It'll be incredibly dangerous and bad for you. Okay, this looks like a pretty good basic pancake color. Now to fill in this over here. I'm not sure what type the Mantifae are as well, but since the jelly sprites are likely going to be changed from salty to sweet, I might make them sweet as well. One, because pancake, and two, because they both have similar vibes. I did try using, like, Pokemon logic to figure out what I wanted each, like, thing to be. They are based off of pancakes. If you bite one, you already know how they defend themselves. It's canon now. They basically work like giant air cannons. Don't try it. If they have the ability to take leaves and apples off a tree simply by breathing in, the amount of force them breathing out to defend themselves would, like, probably kill you. They won't hurt me. You just said you're gonna try and bite them. That's not nice. That is not remotely nice. I make their eyes slightly bigger so they're easier to see for the demonstration. Making this one angry. You're not nice. Nice people don't try to eat their fucking friends.
Ahem. I have something to say.
Yes, Raya?
Remember to tell the people around you that they are loved.
I would tell Comet that I love them if they weren't trying to eat my goddamn critters. Stop trying to eat my goddamn critters. Fucking varmint. Goddamn moth. I really like the word varmint. That is like such a fun thing to call like a little like rodent or something, like a bug or a rodent. Just varmint. It is so good. I love it. It's just like so extra. I love it for that. Okay, we are now trying out colors. So this is going to be the basic one. Let's see what the inside of their mouth looks like. Let's give it the white like Fancy suggested earlier. So like a lighter version of their belly. Not bad, not bad. I have to also go over here and make that color the rest of them. Oh, what if it was like some sort of shimmery brown, kind of similar to syrup? Since they are pancakes after all. That or their tongue would be that color. This one's eyes are still tiny. Alright, I'm also going to try that yellow idea you were talking about earlier for... I need to get a good yellow, though, so it still stands out. That's definitely not it. Oh, brighter one. That works. Ooh, I do kind of like the color that adds. And then they sort of have like these little shiny eyes. It still looks good from a distance. But if they have like white pupils instead and they kind of look like this. Oh wait, that's so fucking cute! Oh, I really like them having like kind of inverted sclera and stuff. It looks more like an egg yolk. Butter tongue. The butter tongue is like an egg yolk. Okay, let's put that there. So I want some sort of syrupy color for the inside of the mouth. Let's say it's like this sort of reddish brown. Because it's like smudging on the outside, it looks like... Whoa, ew, that's like... What if they like drool this kind of syrupy, sappy color? So when they're like, oh my goodness, you get covered in syrup when they lick you. That's gotta be awful. That is going to feel awful. But it's funny, so I'm keeping it. Okay, now the yellow butter tongue makes a lot more sense. Fancy, I think you were cooking with the little butter horns. Fancy, you were cooking. And I like the idea. It's growing on me. What if their little tail thingy should also be that color? Potentially. Maybe not actually, but it's an idea. It could be, it could not be. But I like this. Alright, you've given two different ideas that I, like, really liked, with the whole air burst thing, as well as the little, like, butter horns and then the tongue as well. That's good. Okay, this is, I think, canonically the basic manta ray. I'm keeping the little, like, smudgy mouth because apparently this is what their saliva looks like. So they have, they drool syrup, which means, and because they are little puppies, they will try to lick you. It's gonna be awful, and you're gonna hate it, and I'm so sorry, but they love you. Accept them. They just want to love you. Alright, and I also get to draw the variants. First variant is going to be, of course, blueberry. I feel like the horn color should also change for each variant, so it's more obvious, since the horns are one of the biggest parts of their body. So, of course, their tongues and their horns will change color for the variation they are. The color variants will not change anything except for that. It's just colors. They don't change type or anything, so don't worry about that. They just look like this sometimes. I might change that later. But for now, they essentially just get spots and their mouth and eyes will change a little bit. Here, to make it more consistent, I will change their eye color to be... Oh, nope, that doesn't match anymore. Never mind. Fuck consistency. Immediate change. Oh yeah, their tail. The top view looks like a glider. Yeah, because that's how they fly around, essentially. Is they'll flap occasionally, but they mostly just have their... I was gonna say wings, but I guess it's just limbs out, and they'll fly around like that. They're very cute. I love them. But yeah, there's obviously gonna be different colors. Like, there's gonna be blueberry, there's gonna be chocolate. So they have a darker brown as well. Different flavors have different colors. There's probably no, like, subcategory to them, but, like... You were cooking with that, Fancy, with the butter, because that makes them look so much more interesting than what I originally planned, which was not a lot. It was literally just they were going to look like pancakes, and that was it. Which is still fine, it's just like... I wouldn't have thought of anything other than just they would look like this. Hell, I didn't even have an idea for what the inside of their mouth would look like before this. Because I never thought of the fact that they opened their mouth. Yeah, this is why I like bringing up stuff with the community, because sometimes you guys have amazing ideas and I adore them. Because, like, yeah, this is still cute. Oh, he still has the butter tail. Ignore that. Still a cute little guy, but, like, the little highlights really add to it. I might also change the belly color to be this much lighter now that this is the official color. Does make it look a little more like undercooked, but it's brighter, which is what's important. Actually, maybe I do leave it that way. Oh, or their pupils could be the brown, make it all tied in. I think I'm scared again. I don't know how I feel about this. No, they're still kind of cute, but just maybe a little bit of a eye highlight of sorts. Anti-eye highlight. That's pretty cute. Or maybe their eyes are the opposite, and it matches their mouth. And the yellow is the highlight. Ooh, that's fun too. Still gonna add the anti-highlights though. I love that little like design trope with the like old eyeballs that have the little cuts in them. And like cartoon stuff or Benny the Ink Machine. Very cute to me. We'll always love that. Alright, yeah. That's pretty perfect. I love that. They do have their funny little butter colors. Ah, man, I love the Mantifae. So we have the Jelly Sprites, the Mantifae, and now we're moving on to the Gummy Bunnies, which we've talked about before. But I don't think they've ever gotten their flowers. I don't think we've ever talked about them in depth. The Gummy Bunnies obviously are going to have the most about them. They are these weird little gelatinous, bunny-shaped creatures. They do not seem to we're gonna talk about them like I'm an actual, like, this is an actual study on them. Everyone else is kind of, like, vague. But I know a lot about these funny little freaks. So, the Gummy Bunnies, are very similar to Nudie Branch. They do have some form of, like, internal organ, I think. But you're never really gonna see them. Because I don't think they really want you to know much more about them. They're adorable. They do not seem to have any form of mouth, though. Unless they want to. No. Gross. Good question, but no. They probably should, but that's why they bounce around. I thought about letting them do that, but they have a slight hop when they move. Similar to real bunnies, they kind of jump slightly whenever they go anywhere. Because there's so many of them, I didn't want to have them have snail trails because then the cafe would be covered in like multicolored snail trail like everywhere. And it would look pretty for a small amount of time until they started going over their trails over and over again, and then everything would just look like brown. Yeah, and having to clean up. Like, I would get... Obviously, there's no, like, investigation or anything into the cafe's, like, health and safety. I don't know if I can even, like, invite someone for, like, a safety test around the cafe. But I also don't know if I want to. Now, obviously, your guys' food is handled with so much care and safety. But, like, I don't have employees for a reason. This place can be a fucking death trap at times. OSHA would kill me if they found this place. I cannot legally employ people. We have doors that lead into outer space, straight up. And I don't have spacesuits on hand. No guardrails. Actually, we don't either. That's... we don't have guardrails. Like... Well, no, there is a second floor. There are guardrails to the second floor. But, like, there are some unsecured places. The fridge is technically alive. Not sure how health and safety would feel about my sentient fridge. Delivery doors? Oh, yeah, there is an opening near the kitchen where I can, like, send food out. There are, obviously, escape routes. The fire exit is never obscured by anything. Very important. Every window is left open as well for safety reasons. We do have a fire extinguisher. We actually have two. One of them is hanging out near the fireplace. The other is in the kitchen. So, a lot of the basic stuff. I wash my hands before I cook anything or handle any food. I wear gloves. I wear a hairnet. Okay, I don't wear a hairnet. I'm sorry. If you find hair in your food, I'm sorry. There's a lot of fucking hair, okay? I don't really know what I'd do. I couldn't find a hairnet big enough for all of this. Not to mention when you turn me tiny. The windows have screens. Yeah, totally. Yep. Is that a legal requirement for business? Do I do I need those? Uh-oh. It's fine. I'll just magic them in some other time. But yeah, okay, thank goodness. We don't have those. But yeah, food is handled with care. I just realized the gummy bunny on screen is like incredibly fucking cursed. I don't like this. Please stop looking at me. Go away. These things head on are not pleasant sometimes. But yeah, they're shaped like bunnies, and I call them bunnies, similar to like how sea bunnies, nudie branches, are called sea bunnies. Especially that specific subtype that looks like they have little bunny ears and little spots. Which is what these guys are inspired by IRL. But they are not rabbits in any way, shape, or form. Well, form, actually. Very much so. But like, I'm not fully sure what these things' diet is supposed to be. They will steal food. I've seen them eat meat. I've seen them eat dairy. I've seen them eat vegetables. I've seen them eat things that aren't food. If you guys are wondering how we like get rid of trash in the cafe, we certainly don't have a garbage man. Have a nice shower. I hope you feel good after. I know I love a nice shower before bed. I sleep so fucking good after a shower. Love a good shower before bed. It is nice to be squeaky clean. But yeah, the gummy bunnies are one of my favorite creatures because they're just kind of freaks. And I love them for that. They also seem to have some weird inherent magic to them where they are essentially immortal. Shay, that's so fucking cursed, but like I probably could do that. That could actually be a good thing to get started with editing for, because I do need to I do need to learn video editing. But like the little guy just like slowly gets closer to the camera, or like more of them start to pop up. But yeah, gummy bunnies seem to be made out of something. It does not really matter what you do to them. They will always be the same in the end. Sure, they sort of become unconscious if they are harmed too much. But like, they don't seem to really have any idea of how to function. Don't mind what I'm drawing. Totally not drawing a gummy bunny getting the shit smushed out of it. Its little fucking eyes. Squeeze! Let's say this gummy bunny right here is about to have all of these things on the side of the screen done to the poor guy. You can smush them like a stress ball. They will always end up in the same shape afterwards as a normal gummy bunny. If anything, some of them actually like to be squished. Don't know why, I think it's comforting for them. They are not incredibly strong, but they do like to work in groups. So while gummy bunnies are capable of carrying small items, sometimes even relatively heavy items, like this one just has a button. That's cute. That's fine. Little buddy is carrying a tiny button with him. They'll do stuff like this. Little den animals. Den animals? They do not seem to have mouths, but they are capable of like holding onto things as if they do have a mouth. Not fully sure what or how. I think they're capable of making small openings in like their slime body, where they are capable of holding things. It's kind of like when chibis have little nub hands but don't have like thumbs or anything, or like the Powerpuff Girls. They just seem to magically be able to hold stuff sometimes. including in spots you don't think would work, like on their backs. They are actually capable of holding on to things like that. They will collect things, they will grab things. Oh, they feel calmer in tight spaces. Ah, that's interesting. Oh, right, because, yeah, bunnies do live in burrows and stuff, so maybe that's why they like to be smushed. Sometimes bunnies, on the other hand, will try to carry something that one of them... I don't know either. I've had mess-ups like that before, too, though, so I get it. Sometimes a bunny will try to carry something that they just can't. Like, let's say, a book that is more than... far too big for them to carry. They end up looking a lot like this. They get smushed. Poor little guys. This one got flattened by my grimoire. I felt bad for him. He was just kind of trying to carry something and it fell over and he got smushed. And now he's just kind of stuck here. They can squish their form and get out, but like, buddy got smooshed. So there he is. We're saying this is all the same Kuiper bunny. They are essentially, like I said, indestructible and immortal. They do not, nothing seems to really kill them. And if they do, quote unquote, die, they just kind of tend to turn into a little puddle for a little bit. When they take too much damage or in a too stressful a situation, they simply melt. Like this. They turn into a little puddle. Let's say this one is like sitting on a desk. And unfortunately so, when they turn into their little puddle form, they will just kind of stay like that until they feel better. And then, give it like 30 minutes, back normal. Good as can be. Wacky tail. From what I have found out when I have had these guys with me, they are not capable of squeezing out of any sized hole. That's not how it works. It's kind of like cats where if they can't fit their whiskers through, they can't get through. Except it's backwards, and if they can't fit their ears, they cannot get through. Instead of it being like whiskers on their face, if their ears can't fit, they can't. I'm not sure why their ears count as a body part more than the rest of their body, as their ears do tend to be bigger than their tails, so I wonder if the same rule applies to their tail as well. But give them a little bit of time, they come back to normal. I've seen them try to sit inside of boiling pots. Okay, one of them fell, but he ended up sitting in there for a while, so I guess they like it. They seem to be resistant to heat and to cold, but they will freeze or melt if they get too hot. The one that boiled did turn into a liquid, and I had to fish him out with like a ladle. And then I had to throw out the soup because I'm not fully sure what the hell these things are made out of, but that probably was not safe to eat. So yeah, little guy who got boiled is fine. I think he actually kind of likes it because he does still like to have like his little hot tub time. Just little less hot. He likes sitting in the sink when I'm cleaning stuff as well. I think he just likes water. If they are too cold, they will freeze. I've had them find their way into the freezer where I like to make our popsicles and ice cream, hold stuff for milkshakes, and I have found one frozen solid in the freezer before. I'm really not sure how they get into some of these things. There's just too many of them to keep track of. I guess he wanted to steal some ice cream when I was making the milkshakes, and little buddy crawled inside and got stuck. Little guy was still fine after he got thawed out, demanded hot cocoa. But he was fine after. So, while they are affected by intense heat and intense cold, they simply just move on after some time, which is greatly hilarious. Sorry. I had to blow my nose. But yeah, whether they are frozen solid or boiled, they will kind of just get back up. Whether they are smushed or they are hit too hard with something, they'll just get back up after a little bit. I'm not sure what they are made of, or how they do the things they do. Sometimes they'll just help by getting rid of garbage by eating it, but they tend to be only able to eat food in small pieces. I've never seen one of them fully open their quote-unquote mouth to eat anything, but bites seem to disappear out of food they find their little non-existent mitts on. Like, for example, we're still using this one gummy bunny that has, like... This is all the same gummy bunny. Our little experiment. You can squish them, you can put stuff on them, and they'll hold them, even if they shouldn't be able to. They'll get smushed by things, and they'll just kind of get back up and crawl back out. If you put them in a little container, and the only way out is like a straw hole, they will not be able to get out unless their ears are capable of being pushed out. If not, you'll kind of just like... Here, let's say this is the tiny hole, and they're like in a cup or something. You'll just see like this little bloop of their face. It's like kind of like it's their nose. And the rest of them is still back there failing to get out. That's the best they do. Let's say our little experiment bunny, who has volunteered and is allowed to leave whenever they like, of course, is rewarded for their efforts by being given a bread bun the same size, if not bigger than they are. Nice, delicious, and fresh, because again, these guys seem to eat anything. Delicious, fresh, and tasty. This guy is hungry. After his long little demonstration of what Kuiper bunnies are capable of doing, he gets hungry. And all of a sudden, that happens. They just take a bite. They don't have mouth. They just take a bite anyway. Little guy gets close and a giant bite mark just gets disappeared out of the bread. They seem to eat weirdly telepathically. Though they oftentimes will take food before they just like start biting out of it. And they do seem to have to be close to food. Even if they want the food, they need to be nearby it. They are made of gummy bunny. Yes. The floor is made of floor. Thank you, Shay. Can you see why I'm excited to make these things canon to like my world lore? They just make me happy. But yeah, the gummy bunnies, the manta fae, and the jelly sprites are three of the longest lasting critters of the cafe that I have. And they all bring me joy. There are more, some of which are going to be way harder for me to draw. But I also think that I will draw one more creature. Actually, one that is very recent and only appeared to me in a dream a week ago. And by in a dream, I mean, I thought of like, what if we had like a salamander creature and what if I added it? But yeah. The jellyfish sprites might be getting their variation buddy soon. I think I will canonically make them sugar or sweet. Technically sweet type is what it's officially named. Because they're based off of the flavors. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, savory, spicy, and the seventh one that is technically a secret and isn't fully real is bland. Any creature that is still magical but does not have an elemental typing. Most creatures do not have bland typing. There's only going to be a few bland types, if any. Just because most creatures should fall into a type. But if I were to assign, like, Pokemon types to each, type of wonder, which they are using wonder, the form of magic, that is my channel points as well. Sweet would be fairy, psychic, and flying. Sour would essentially be poison, grass type, and electric. Salty would be water and ice type. Bitter would be ghost and dark type. Savory would be fighting, ground, rock, and steel type. And spicy would be fire and dragon type, because really, what else are you gonna put under a spicy type other than fire creatures? But yeah, it was nice to have just like a little break and explain some of the critters that are in my head. I love them. I'm going back to listening to my music. No. I want to listen to Dangerous. There we go. Welcome back from ads. I will re-explain what I said a second ago with, there only being 4 creatures I have so far, with some of them getting extra types. Don't technically count because they're all the same species. But yeah, this has been the brain rot I have for my channel. Welcome back from ads. Don't mind me, I'm just drawing the basic card suits. Oh yeah, I said while you guys were ad break, and I'll say it again now so most people can hear me. If I were to use Pokemon types to explain the different, flavors of Wonder, which, yes, is the magic that is used to fuel the cafe, Wonder is essentially just a form of magic, and I love that. So these are the flavors of Wonder. If you're wondering what flavor of Wonder my Sona has, no. I won't tell you. Color is not important for the flavor type, by the way. It's just what they look like. So, I'm turning my music off. I can't hear anything. So, Sweet type would essentially be, for Pokemon, Fairy, Psychic, and Healing. Or Fairy, Psychic, and Flying. Which is why a lot of these creatures are capable of flying, tend to be pink, or some sort of, like, weird air creature, like the Jellies and the Mantifae. Sour type, if you were to compare them to Pokemon, would be Poison, Grass, and Electric. Salty type would be Water and Ice. It might get a third one, I'm not fully sure. Bitter type is Ghost and Dark. Savory type is Fighting, Ground, Rock, and Steel. And Spicy type is Fire and Dragon. Bland type gets Normal and Bug, by the way. Normal and Bug types fall under Bland. I don't remember if that's all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, yeah, that is every type. Some of them only got 2, some of them got 4. Savory got 4. That's a little unfair. Maybe Savory should donate one of their typings to someone else. But yeah, if I were to use Pokemon types to explain each type, these would be my main ones. Sweet tends to be based off of healing, but is also like creatures that are very whimsical, fairy type creatures, ones that just kind of hang around and do stuff. Normally, sweet types can be aggressive and can fight, but for the most part, their effects are supposed to be helpful or emotional. So if they would have some sort of typing attack, it would be healing and mind affecting in some way. So like, if a sweet type were to like you and be helpful, they'd give you things like guidance. They'd do stuff to help you, give you courage, try to help save you. If a sweet type doesn't like you, they might give you stuff like Dazzle, or like the Dazzled effect, or the Dazed effect, or especially Confused. Confusion would probably be one of their better ones. They're kind of like fairies, essentially. If they like you, they bring good things. If they don't like you, well, prepare for a bunch of weird shit to happen. Don't lick them. Please stop licking the creatures. Bad things happen. I keep having to heal you guys, and I will start charging you. You keep not listening to me. Sour types, again, being poison, grass, electric, have physical effects. So they're poisonous, or they'll make you sleepy, or they'll electrify you. Salty type is essentially just water and aquatic stuff, so a lot of salty types look like fish. I'm gonna rewatch this part of the stream. Yeah, that's fair. I will as well, to make sure I have better notes. Salty tends to just be fish and water creatures. I added ice as well, just because salty, weirdly enough, is the most well-defined, but has the least to it compared to everyone else. Because to me, salty is literally just, I guess, fish type, which is really funny. Which is why the jelly sprites were originally salty, but now I think I'm going to change them to sweet because they fit sweet types better. These definitions are kind of loose, and I might make them more congruent later on, but right now this is just the kind of like, this is the vibe of them. Moving on to the next type in my list, which is not in the same order as the ones on screen, I apologize. Bitter type, which is essentially the ghost and dark type, making sense, dark chocolate, bitter flavors. They're also status affecting, but they tend to be negative versions of sweet. Like, a sweet type can heal you, and they can add positive things. Bitter types tend to hide in the darkness. I don't have any bitter types currently written down, sadly, because I'm still trying to figure out, like, the main type for each creature. Actually, no, sorry, that's not true. Because the, Shade Gummy Bunny is a dark type. Not a dark type, sorry, a bitter type. And they essentially tend to be things related to, like, ghosts, or darkness, or curses, and stuff like that. Hell, that's actually why I kept up this other RPG idea I had. Because these essentially affected how I treat my, magic types in Wonder. So the high damage fire and lightning is technically supposed to be spicy. It also kind of ends up mixing with sour types, because it's also, like, status stuff. Blocking, poison, earth, grapple. So, the diamond is essentially spicy type. Yeah, invisibility, which is such a fucking call, and is insane to me that you got that, because they're good at hiding. Ghosts, hiding in the darkness for shadows, or just ghosts being invisible in general. Like, that is such an insane call, and that's still so cool to me. Especially because shines are supposed to be sour as well, and sour types are electricity, and status effects, like blinding stuff. Or the fact that you gave the sweets a form of charm ability, which is basically what they do. Those were so fucking good. I had barely, if ever, explained the Wonder typings, and you were, like, so fucking spot on for what their abilities should be. The curse thing here with the spade is actually closer to bitter type, because it has bleeding, blindness, confusion, haunting. So the spade is actually bitter, not this little moon thing. The heart suit is better for the sweet types, being healthful for health, reviving people being one of the bigger ones, and removing negative effects. Because when you drink something or eat something sweet, you oftentimes feel better. It makes you happy. So sweet types essentially tend to be more for healing, and they tend to be more peaceful creatures. They aren't always, and they can still do things to fuck you up, like how we said the Manta Fae protect themselves. Again, thank you, Fancy, for that idea. Where they will blow gusts of wind at you. They also tend to be fluffy, like clouds. Yeah, you feel better minus your teeth. They may be more passive, but they can still fight back. This little moon thing here is also pretty close to just bitter type. The water droplet is closer to salty than anything. And the circle is actually closer to savory, actually. Since savory creatures tend to be more physical. Savory and salty creatures probably would have a lot of overlap if it weren't for the fact that they're both land and air creatures, or land and water creatures specifically. A lot of sweet types are also going to fly or be some form of, like, flying creature, just because. I like the idea of that. Like, or a lot of food examples also, like angel food cake versus like lava cake is a big chocolate thing. Or devil's food cake being entirely chocolate and using cherries and stuff being bitter. Bitter just makes me think of like darkness or like ghost creatures. Just because like a lot of things like dark chocolate are used for decorations of like spooky stuff. It's just fun like that. Or like, this is just entirely how I feel about certain things. So, which is how a lot of my stuff goes. I go based off of vibes for a lot of my designing choices. If I vibe with it, I keep it. If I do not vibe with it, I do not keep it. And that is entirely how I do things. So if you see something change, it is because I simply decided I no longer vibe with it and I wanted to vibe with it more by changing it. Don't expect things to be the same every time. I apologize. I am very scatterbrained and I will change things frequently. Which is why I've had so many Sona redesigns. Completely different person from 2 years ago. But that's just because I like making things based off of vibes. But yeah, this has been a pretty good stream. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and listening to me yap about my little creatures. They bring me so much joy. And I'm so happy I got to have this little experience with you guys. Yeah, the Mantifae originally looked like this, where they were slightly different. Oh yeah, they did have a little bump on their head, kind of like a shark. Instead, they look like this now. Kind of, honestly, kind of a fucking glow up. I had a better understanding of what I wanted them to look like before that, that's for sure. But I like them having the thingies on their heads instead of them just being manta ray that are in the sky. I want them all to be based off of something, but very different. Yay! Thank you! I'm so glad that these things make you interested enough to, like, want to add stuff and, like, write stuff down for them. It's so cool to me. I love being able to, like, inspire you to want to make something, because, like, I know the way I make stuff, and it is only if I really want to. So I normally assume everyone else is like that, so, like, it means so much to me that you think my stuff is cool enough and my streams are entertaining enough to, like, inspire you to create or write stuff down like this. It just, like, means the world to me that you like my stuff that much, to be, like, take time out of your day to give them stat blocks. I fucking hate doing stat blocks. It is... That's funny that you asked me that, because in the Clip Studio Paint file, I spelt it F-E-Y. So I'm gonna go with F-E-Y. Probably because it looks closer to Manta Ray with the Y at it on the end. But I remember I used to spell it as F-A-E, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's the F-E-Y is the one we're going with, because that's how I tend to spell Fae. I normally only use the other form of Fae when I'm talking about, like, stuff inspired by, like, real Fae, you know? Because I think that's how you're supposed to spell it. Technically, I think it's not, like, the angelic spelling, but it's stuff like that, where, like, other cultures spell things slightly differently. F-A-E Fae is way, like, more whimsical and fantasy. And I like that. But I tend to spell it the other way because that's just how I grew up spelling it. But yeah, this has been a really fun stream. I think I'm going to cut it here because as much as I do want to introduce you to the last creature I have more congruently, it's only been around for a small amount of time and I'm not fully sure what I want to do with it just yet. But I will tell you what typing it is. It is the first bitter type. So like I said earlier, where we don't have any bitter types, not true. I am working on the first official bitter type with my new rules of food, plus creature I find interesting, plus funny magic lore. So the first, outside of the gummy bunnies and their variations, is the first singular bitter type. And it is based off of tea, funnily enough. I know tea isn't technically always bitter. I might change them to coffee. It might be a mixture of both, and they'll have a variation. Because they're not like sweet tea, they're like natural tea. But it's a form of salamander based off of tea, maybe coffee. More particularly, boba. Which is why I'm excited to work on it, but not today. Because as you can tell with my goofy-ass drawings of the Manta Fae, my understanding of drawing animals is not very good. I simply do not understand them or how they work. And if Wolf is here and listening, you're gonna like these salamanders because they're based off of salamanders and axolotls. Couldn't just choose one or the other. They had to be both. They are also one of the first creatures that do not fly other than the Kuiper bunnies. They simply walk. They simply slide. They like to sit in water and shit, and I love them. But yeah, I'll introduce you to these funny little salamander things the next time I have one of these little rant sessions. The salamander. I will not accept the slander for the perfect boy. Hey! I love oh, sorry, you mean for the Manta Fae. Yeah, okay, look, they are beautiful, but like, I have no idea how this thing functions. But I'm willing to learn, because that's one of the fun parts of art. Because even if I don't fully understand how they should work and function in a way that makes sense for them to move as a real creature, I'll learn eventually. Because I will plan to keep these guys in my life and continue to draw them over and over until I get better, or I don't give a shit, I'm gonna keep drawing them anyway. Art doesn't have to be perfect. Art just has to be enjoyable. And this has been one of the most fun streams I've had, especially with art specifically. I do have fun during my art streams, but like, getting to rant about something I love always makes me happy. Or getting to talk to you guys about stuff you love. Like, the last art stream was chaotic as hell, but it was really fun. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me again for another art stream. I'm going to be moving us over to the Just Chatting screen because we are ending now. Thank you guys again for listening to my funny little guys. It makes me so happy. Really, thank you. For showing not only interest, but just listening to me yap. Always means a lot to me. And thank you guys also for being here. I really do appreciate that I have so many, like, consistent members that show up for me. And I'll say it again, I've said it before, it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you guys again for showing up. It's so cool having my little community, and you guys mean a lot to me. So thank you for being here with me again. Thank you for burning my shit down again. But yeah, I think I'm gonna send you guys over to you-know-who. Kiri's still doing his subathon stream. I'm not sure how much longer he'll be going for. He's already been going for almost 6.5 hours. But that's not my problem. So everybody hop on in for the raid train because Kiri is doing his subathon day 1. And if you guys have a little extra cash, maybe keep that subathon going for another day, perhaps. But yeah, this has been super fun. Thank you guys for being here with me. This was so much fun. Yay! I'm glad you like being here. And I will take some time to get myself some rest and relax. And I hope you guys have a good day too. So, this has been a fun stream. I've been Kuyu Cosmic. You guys have been wonderful. And I hope you have a good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever it is, because time zones are fun like that. Thank you guys for joining me. I adore having you with me, and I hope to have more streams with you guys in them, hanging out with me. And even if I don't, just remember to take very good care of yourselves. Maybe give yourself a little break after this. I will be streaming again next week on Monday at 6 p.m. EDT. You guys have been great. I hope to see you again. Bye-bye!